Hello, everyone. I'm Tirza Schaefer. I'm an author. There's some of my books. I've got lots more. This one is called It's Always Been You. It's a charity anthology for the Breast Cancer Foundation. All proceeds go to them. And it won't be up much longer, so get it on Amazon. Yeah, lots of brilliant stories in there, great ratings and that. But anyway, it's not about my books today. I'm also a goddess coach, and you can probably see I've got tarot cards and runes and oracle cards and things. Anyway, I wanted to tell you about deities because I'm pausing at the moment a little bit, but because I'm concentrating on my writing. But I wanted to tell you about, I'm a goddess coach, so I love working with goddess archetypes. There are lots more, of course, if you look under archetypes as defined by Carl Gustav Jung. They're like symbols from the collective unconscious and so forth. You can look that up on Wikipedia. Very interesting stuff. And I would like to put that into the context of also there's going to be interesting for authors, not just fantasy, but also authors who do contemporary fiction, or and also for spiritual people, of course, alike, both of them. So sit back, listen, pause the video, get yourself a cup of tea or coffee. Yeah, so the first thing I want to say, talking about deities, for example, or power animals, even tarot cards, they are not, archetypes are not like, deities, for example, they're not some like the religious thing, like they're out there and you're the little human who doesn't have any power and you need to petition. Saying, I'm so sorry to disturb you, but can you please help me? They're actually personifications of a part of your psyche or your personality makeup. Okay, for example, just easy one, the mother, right? So that's a role you fulfill. How do you define yourself as mother? Father, same thing. Not being sexist here. Always have to have a balance of feminine and masculine. Otherwise, it's going to go off kilter in one way or the other. So that's always unhealthy. Balance is the key in everything. So, for example, if you take a goddess like Aphrodite, or Venus is the Roman counterpart for the Greek Aphrodite, known as the goddess of love. Okay, so it's not just about romantic love and the religious idea would be we're praying to that goddess and saying, can you please bring me a man like my soulmate or something, and so I can live happily ever after with him or her, depending, or any kind of diverse thing. So all inclusive here, okay? So yeah, I'm just not so good with the pronouns and things. But anyway, you know what I mean. And so the spiritual aspects or the psychological one as well would be loving yourself, being in your feminine power. And feminine isn't weaker, okay? Most women are physically weaker than men. Exceptions state the rule, of course, but that doesn't mean women do not have inherent power, okay? And you don't have to give up your femininity to have power. That's like, a great misconception, because we have patriarchy still for the last 2,000 years or so. It's just breaking up slowly. And, again, it's all about balance. Nobody is better, bigger, or anything more than the other. Both have their place. So talking about Aphrodite or Venus means you can experience yourself as standing in your own feminine power, and men have, that's an energy, it's an archetype, so that's nothing to do with what's between your legs or something, you're like your genitals and things, but it's about, so men have that the same, everybody has it, however you define yourself. You have masculine and feminine energies within you, and traits, so a feminine one would be listening, and it's very powerful, you can really impact people by listening to them, being a good listener, active listener, and not just listen to think about what you're going to say for or against or talk about yourself then, but really creating a space for somebody else, so then the male counterparts like taking action, going out and doing that. So it's the action, the receptive, the feminine's the receptive, the container, the space holder, the mystic, and there's always a male counterpart for that, in the energy. So everything is in balance. You can't just sit and stay back and go like, oh, I want this, that, and the other, and just twiddle your thumbs, like you want to write a book and you never write. So you first have to go within yourself, what you want to write about, and some, however you think up the story or whatever you want to write about, you have to think about it first. You have to maybe do research, take things in, think about it, let it, kind of steam inside you and digest it, and then something comes forth from it, and then you can put it out into the world by writing that, by publishing it, sharing it with the world. So you have that male and female, and as a goddess of love, it's like, how do you see yourself in your feminine power? Do you take care of yourself? How about your self-care? Is that a non-negotiable in your life? Do you use, do you make sure that you have a certain amount of time each day for at least little rituals, that make you feel good? Even if it's just sitting down long enough to have a cup of tea and read a chapter in a book or something like that, that's your space, your time, and that you really make for yourself, or you journal, or whatever you do, whatever makes you happy, go to a dancing class or whatever, so that's a very important thing. And then from there, once you have that empowered feminine within you, that's what you actually, share with the world. It comes out in your vibes. You don't have to talk about it. You have a different vibe if you feel yourself empowered in that energy, in that feminine energy. And then people will that way also connect with you on that level. And obviously, if it's wounded, you don't have any self-confidence, or, you can't make yourself do anything, and you're kind of helpless or something, that will obviously attract a different kind of person to when you have, the inner power, that you value yourself, you know your own power. And power is not being overpowering, but standing in your own power, and having healthy boundaries, not steamrolling everybody else. So that's something different. We're talking about the healthy stuff here, okay? The ideal, which we strive towards as best as we can. Don't compare yourself with others, okay? Everybody's on their own journey. But anyway, so that's an example for an archetype, all right? It's about something that's within you, and can you connect to that kind of archetype? Can you embrace that energy and make it your own, and empower that energy within you, that inner goddess, or that inner god, or whatever else, so you can actually use that same idea for characters. Okay, so what kind of archetype do you want for your characters? Like you can choose to have a woman who is very feminine, stands in her own power, but isn't over independent in the sense like she can't receive help, but it has to be everybody's hero and helper, but not actually receive, like over giving and depleting herself that way. But can also receive what type of man would she attract, and what type of man, what kind of archetype does that man represent, and it doesn't have to be just one, obviously, you can look at different personality traits, what is important to you in that character, and so on. So when you write, that's a brilliant way as well. So you can, so you don't literally have to use deities in your fiction or something like that, but it helps sometimes also to find the kind of balance, because very often deities are paired like masculine feminine energy, so they are balanced. And if you look at that, you can see, okay, I could like maybe take my characters and kind of base them on these archetypes and develop them from there, so they have a balance already, and I'm going to expand on that. Obviously you need more details. So for your own inner work, it's important. If you want to go along those lines, you don't need to use archetypes to do self-care, obviously, but if you feel inclined to do that, that might help you, so that's the way I work with deities as well. So it's non-denominational. You can be a religious person who believes in let's say a monotheistic kind of religious dogma or something, and reading mythology about like, I don't know, Roman goddesses or Egyptian deities or something like that. It doesn't mean you have to believe in them or anything. It's nothing like that. Okay, so it's just really being used to, like, it's a character trait personification. It's like, for example, take the Hindu elephant god Ganesha. Do you know the one? He's mostly got a big belly as well, which is prosperity, stands for prosperity. The big Buddha has that as well, the laughing Buddha. And, you have this elephant head, and he stands for strength. Like, that's your inner strength, you can use a lion, inner strength as well. It's a very solar thing, and that's like, where's your inner strength? There's your solar plexus, where that chakra is here. So that helps you to work with yourself, like where do you have strengths and weaknesses and whatever, and where do you want to work on your self-development, in which area, and or with characters that you write about. Sometimes it's interesting as well when you read a book to kind of do that, like link characters to certain deities. Now, I quite like to do that as well. So it's a passion of mine, obviously. So yes, that's what I wanted to talk to you about, and I hope you enjoyed that. A quick excursion into archetypes, deities, and other archetypes as well, obviously. Tarot cards, you can do that with them as well. Like, for example, the fool, it can be the child, or it can be somebody who's like, as like the innocence is like, let's do this, and I'm not going to talk, think about the consequences, like, too much in brackets. But like, I'm just going to do it now. I'm going to enjoy life, it's like, I'm not going to be bogged down by worries and all that, and so you can go through the whole deck of 78 cards. I'm doing a diploma at the moment in tarot cards, so that's going to take a while. But it's a really interesting, fascinating journey as well. So working with tarot cards is wonderful as well. And if you want to have more info on tarot cards, you can contact me, ask me. I can give you a few good links. A friend of mine, Sinead Fine, she has a website, Tarot for Women, and this is where I do the diploma as well with her, and she's an absolutely brilliant teacher. It's for women, but I can always refer you and ask about, if you're a man and you want to learn something. So I'm sure she can give you great hints. Anyway, on her website, there's like so much about tarot cards, about meanings as well, and things very well explained. And, so that's something that's really interesting to look at. On my website, you will find, mainly goddesses, power and power animals, gods as well. I've written about the major arcana of the tarot, and a while back, I probably will have to go over that again. But I really love that kind of thing, So if you have any further questions, tirzaschaefer.com is my website, and info@tirzaschaefer.com is my email. Otherwise, you can also find me on social media, linktree.com. I've got that. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok even, although I'm not really on there very much. And all of it Tirza Schaefer, so it's just very easy to find. You can just follow the links as well from Linktree or from our website. So have fun and enjoy, and just browse and work with whatever you feel called to do. If that resonates with you, I'd be happy to hear about your journey as well. So please do share. And I'll see you later. Bye. Lots of love.